Wake up.
Narcissists are masters of manipulation, using a variety of tactics to keep you emotionally dependent. These methods can be subtle or overt, but they are always designed to maintain power over you. So what exactly are the tactics they use to dominate you? Displacing is a subtle yet potent tactic narcissists use to manipulate and control their victims. This method involves projecting their own negative emotions onto someone else, making that person feel burdened with the narcissist's problems. Imagine a narcissist who feels deep-seated anger but doesn't want to acknowledge it. Instead of dealing with their anger, they might accuse their partner of being overly aggressive or hostile. Over time, the partner starts to question their behavior, wondering if they are indeed too aggressive, even if there's no basis for this accusation. The partner might then try to change their behavior to avoid upsetting the narcissist, not realizing that the problem lies with the narcissist's own unresolved anger. This creates a scenario where the partner is burdened with emotions that do not belong to them. Displacing works on multiple levels. Firstly, it allows the narcissist to avoid confronting their flaws and shortcomings, helping them maintain their distorted self-image. By projecting their negative traits onto someone else, they effectively deflect any introspection or self-awareness that might threaten their ego. Secondly, displacing destabilizes the victim's sense of reality and self-worth. When someone is constantly blamed for feelings or behaviors that aren't theirs, they start to question their own reality and become more dependent on the narcissist for validation. This dependence is precisely what the narcissist desires, as it cements their control over the victim. The victim's constant quest for reassurance and validation from the narcissist further entrenches the manipulative dynamic, making it increasingly difficult for them to break free. The psychological underpinnings of displacing are closely related to the defense mechanism of projection, first identified by Sigmund Freud. Projection involves attributing one's unacceptable thoughts, feelings, or motives to another person. Displacing extends this concept by actively transferring these negative aspects to someone else, making them bear the emotional weight. According to studies in psychoanalytic psychology, projection and displacing are common defense mechanisms used by individuals with narcissistic traits to manage their internal conflicts and maintain their self-esteem. The hurt and rescue tactic is a manipulative strategy frequently employed by narcissists to create a cycle of dependency and control. This method involves the narcissist causing distress or harm to their victim and then swooping in to offer comfort and support. This creates a powerful emotional bond, making the victim feel grateful and indebted to the narcissist, even though they were the source of the initial harm. Imagine a situation where the narcissist starts an argument over something trivial, leading to an emotional outburst that leaves the victim feeling distressed. After causing this emotional turmoil, the narcissist then becomes the comforting figure, offering apologies, reassurance, and a shoulder to cry on. This oscillation between inflicting pain and providing comfort creates a confusing and addictive dynamic for the victim, who begins to associate the narcissist with both distress and relief. The effectiveness of this tactic lies in its ability to create a cycle of emotional highs and lows. When the victim experiences emotional pain and vulnerability, the relief and comfort provided feel intensely gratifying. This cycle creates a dependency on the narcissist, reinforcing the victim's attachment to them. The psychological foundation of this tactic can be linked to principles of intermittent reinforcement, a concept well documented in behavioral psychology. Intermittent reinforcement involves providing rewards at unpredictable intervals, which has been shown to create strong behavioral attachments. The unpredictable nature of when the narcissist will be hurtful versus when they will be comforting keeps the victim constantly seeking the positive reinforcement of the rescue phase despite the accompanying pain. The tactic of infantilizing involves treating the victim as if they are immature, incompetent, or incapable of making decisions on their own. By reducing the victim to a childlike state, the narcissist establishes a power dynamic where they are seen as the authority figure, furthering the dependency of the victim on them for guidance and approval. Infantilizing involves the narcissist assuming a parental role, often under the guise of concern or care. They might make decisions on behalf of the victim, criticize their ability to make sound choices, or provide unsolicited advice and direction. The victim, treated as though they lack maturity or capability, begins to internalize these messages, leading to a diminished sense of self-worth and autonomy. Infantilizing can be linked to the concept of learned helplessness, a psychological condition where individuals come to believe they have no control over their situation due to repeated experiences of helplessness. This condition was first identified by Martin Seligman in his experiments with dogs, which showed that when subjected to uncontrollable, adverse conditions, the dogs eventually stopped trying to escape, even when an opportunity presented itself. In the context of a relationship, the constant undermining by the narcissist can lead to a similar state in the victim, where they no longer feel capable of independent action. Additionally, infantilizing exploits the parent-child dynamic, which is deeply ingrained in our psyche. The parent-child relationship is one of inherent power imbalance, with the parent as the caregiver and authority figure. By positioning themselves as the parent in the relationship, the narcissist taps into this dynamic, making it difficult for the victim to challenge their authority or break free from the imposed dependency. Rationalization involves creating logical but false explanations for their actions, making their behavior seem reasonable and justified. These justifications are designed to make their actions appear acceptable and to minimize any responsibility they might otherwise feel. The victim, in turn, is often left confused and more likely to accept the narcissist's behavior as reasonable. Sigmund Freud, who first identified defense mechanisms, described rationalization as a way for individuals to justify actions that are otherwise difficult to accept. By constructing logical explanations, individuals can avoid facing the uncomfortable truths about their behavior. Rationalization helps narcissists maintain their self-image by avoiding responsibility. By consistently rationalizing their actions, narcissists can continue to manipulate their victims without confronting their own flaws. Moral posturing is a manipulative tactic used by narcissists to present themselves as paragons of virtue and righteousness. This method involves taking a high moral stance on various issues to gain admiration and respect from others. They often champion causes deemed noble and virtuous, such as social justice, environmentalism, or animal rights, not out of genuine concern, but to gain social capital. This display of moral superiority is usually superficial and hypocritical. When a narcissist aligns themselves with noble causes, they create an image of themselves as selfless and principled individuals. This makes it difficult for others to criticize or challenge them, as doing so would seem like an attack on the virtuous causes they represent. Moral posturing can be understood through the lens of virtue signaling, a concept in social psychology where individuals conspicuously display their moral values to gain social approval. Moreover, moral posturing allows narcissists to engage in moral licensing, a phenomenon where individuals justify their unethical behavior by highlighting their moral actions. This cognitive bias enables narcissists to reconcile their contradictory behaviors and maintain a positive self-image despite their manipulative actions. Intellectual bullying works by exploiting the victim's insecurities about their own knowledge and abilities. The narcissist presents themselves as intellectually superior, frequently correcting, criticizing, or dismissing the victim's opinions and ideas. This constant undermining erodes the victim's confidence, making them more likely to defer to the narcissist's judgment and opinions. According to the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, narcissists often believe they are superior and expect others to recognize their superiority without questioning it. Intellectual bullying is a manifestation of these traits, as the narcissist seeks to dominate conversations and assert their perceived intellectual superiority. Research has shown that narcissists are prone to cognitive distortions. These distortions include overestimating their own intelligence and underestimating the abilities of others. This skewed perception allows them to rationalize their bullying behavior as justified and necessary. Selective respect works by exploiting social hierarchies and power dynamics. The narcissist's deferential behavior towards those in positions of power helps them gain favor from these individuals. At the same time, their dismissive or disrespectful treatment of others reinforces their perceived superiority and keeps potential challengers at bay. This tactic creates a social environment where the narcissist is seen as valuable and indispensable by those they respect, while maintaining dominance over those they do not. Selective respect can be understood through the lens of social exchange theory, which posits that relationships are formed and maintained based on the perceived benefits and costs. Narcissists, driven by their need for admiration and power, selectively invest their respect and deference in relationships that offer the most significant rewards. This strategic behavior aligns with their overarching goal of maximizing personal gain while minimizing effort and risk. Public praise works by creating a discrepancy between the narcissist's public and private personas. The carefully crafted image makes it difficult for the narcissist's victims to be believed if they speak out about any abuse or mistreatment, as others only see the public side of the narcissist. Public praise can be linked to the concept of impression management, a term in social psychology that refers to the process by which individuals attempt to control the perceptions others have of them. Research on narcissistic personality disorder indicates that narcissists have an exaggerated need for admiration and often engage in behaviors that will elicit positive feedback from others. Public praise aligns with this need, as it allows narcissists to bask in the reflected glory of those they praise. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, share, and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.